Ever since I switched over to Arch Linux, I wanted to make sure my system is periodically up to date, but I didn't want these updates to happen every day or every week because it would be pretty easy to do that, but that would be a little bit irresponsible because who knows, maybe there's some breaking changes there or things that you might need to change on your system. Looking at the Arch news is a great way to get a heads up before you do your updates. But I do like to know if things are outdated pretty frequently. So I created this little alias here, outdated, which on Arch at least is going to break things up for the official Arch packages up top, and then separated by spaces down here are going to be the AUR packages. Now, my .files do support macOS as well as Debian-based operating systems, so the alias there is going to be a little bit different, but it will work in a similar way where it will show you all the outdated packages. So in this video, we're going to go over some examples there. So yeah, in this case here, you can see, oh wow, new version of Docker, that's pretty cool. I can just go ahead, and now if I were to go to, let's say, my .files repo, then I can actually perform the update if I wanted to. For example, I just run the install script, put in my password here, which is my real password there. And then, yep, that's the packages here. And now it's going to actually, if you are using my .files, it does output the Arch news. You can go and look at all the details if you want. And then down here, yeah, you can choose to do this update if you want. And then after this, it would do the AUR packages. In this case, I'm not going to do the updates here just because I don't want to wait for them to finish on video, but that's basically how that workflow would come to completion if you did want to do the updates there. So yeah, I do have this one commit here up in GitHub. I'll link to this if you want, but all the different aliases for each operating system is here. So let's go over some of that now. Now, before we jump into that code, let's go and see the outputs of what it would look like on Debian-based operating systems. So in this case here, I can just run a container, docker container run, and we'll do IT. What are we going to run? I don't know. I think I have an older version of Ruby on my system here. And then this one should be outdated, so then we can do the update and we can see all sorts of different packages there. So in this case, what would it be? I think it's Trixie, and then we're going to run bash because we don't want the Ruby interpreter. Cool. So let me just go and grab this alias here. Because I'm in a container, the alias isn't available, right? I'm also going to skip using sudo because we're already running as root in the container, and you would have to install sudo separately. But you can imagine being on your real system, running the alias outdated there, and then we can go here and pop it in. And here we should start seeing some output for outdated system packages on a Debian-based system. So in the green here, you can see the package name. We see upgradable from, this is the version that you have, and then this is the version that you can update to if you were to go ahead and just actually perform the update itself. So you get similar information here, full package list. Yeah, pretty useful, I would say, in this case, just to see if your system is outdated there. And when it comes to macOS, now I do have a company issued laptop. I can't really do a screen recording on or show exact outputs from there. So what I ended up doing here was, I just cut it out. An example of what you would see if you are in macOS using brew. I just took some nonsense packages here, but this is the syntax that you would see. So basically, it's pretty similar to the Arch setup here, where the packages you see up top are all your regular brew packages, and then separated by spaces will be any casks that you have installed here. And yeah, it's pretty nice just to see this stuff pretty quickly. And that's basically it there. So let's go and take a look here at some of the code. We can just do, I don't know, maybe a git show here and check it out. Here's the different aliases for the different operating systems. Maybe we can start with the one for, I don't know, Arch Linux, right? So here it's like, well, we don't have to be too worried about the conditions in the install script to show them here, but this is really what ends up getting written out as an alias if you're on Arch Linux here using my .files. So there is a check updates command, and then it prints a couple of new lines, and then it uses yay to get the outdated AUR packages. So we could just run something like check updates. So let me just pop open a new Tmux window here and just run this one individually here. This is available through pacman contrib. By the way, you will need to have that package installed. If you're using my .files, it's available. But you can see here all the official Arch packages here that are outdated. You can see them being output. There's nothing to do with the AUR here. So going back to here, though, if you wanted to get the AUR information, you can just run yay, capital Q and then UA there, and then we can do that. And then we would just get the AUR information here. And all that alias does here, as we can see here, it just runs both commands here separated by spaces. Cool. And then when it comes to the Debian-based one, pretty similar, although we just need to run, apt list upgradable. That's really the command that you need to run here, but you want to make sure that you run an update first. I used QQ there just because otherwise it's going to show a lot of update information there otherwise. And then when it comes to the brew one up top, pretty similar. Again, we just do a brew update, very similar to running your apt-get update here. It's going to be quiet. It's basically, it's going to tell you like a one-liner showing you like, hey, by the way, you're going to be running a brew update, but it's not going to output all the different things. And then, yeah, we just get the outdated information for your regular formulas, a couple spaces there, and then the casks. And by the way, this isn't an oversight here with one space versus two. So in this case here in macOS, there's an extra space after this one. So you end up having two spaces just like it is over here. And I think actually in my macOS little text file there, it didn't show that, but there are two spaces there. So they are consistent. I found to have two spaces a little bit nice to see when you're glancing if you have a lot of different files. By the way, just a heads up, you are using my .dot files and you are on Arch, there's even a nice little thing you could do also. So in a couple of videos ago, I had this little script, a wrapper script, a package one, that you can do all sorts of different things here. For example, you can install stuff or list things or remove things. I actually added outdated here as well. So if you do something like, package outdated, then this will show you all your outdated packages here. And now you can see a little bit more information about these packages right here or there, because, could be nice to see there instead of saving a trip to your browser to go and check things out. And then likewise here too, there's the AUR version 2, which will just show the AUR packages that are outdated, very similar type of thing here. That could be nice if you want to see a little bit more information instead of just the version numbers that are changing. So yeah, with that said, if you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments below. Do my best to answer all of them. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Really does help a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.